Thanks very much.
If you regularly use herbal remedies, you might welcome new licensing laws which will stamp products with an official logo if they are safe to use. But the Royal Pharmaceutical Society is worried consumers will interpret that logo as an assurance that the product is effective.
Well, we're joined now by Dr. Dick Middleton, who is a pharmacist specialising in herbal medicine, Professor David Cahoon from the Pharmacology Department at University College London. Dr. Middleton, just to confirm, you're a doctor of pharmacy. That's important to point that out.
Yeah.
Why are you uncomfortable about what's going to happen next, this licensing procedure?
No, I'm not uncomfortable because I think the whole point of the registration process is to do with public safety. We have at the moment a situation where in the marketplace in the UK we have a mixture of unregulated herbal medicines which have no controls over the quality of the product, so there are high quality products and low quality products, but no way of identifying which is which, and there's no patient information with those products. There's nothing to tell those consumers whether it's safe to take that product and when to do so.
And under the new licensing, what will change?
What will change is that the registered products, as they're called, will have to achieve a level of quality that is appropriate and acceptable.
Does that quality only covers safety though, doesn't it? That quality mark won't cover whether they work or not?
No. The way in which the registration process works, because it's very much to do with public safety, is it will cover the quality associated with safety. So, for example, heavy metal content, microbiological load in the tablets or capsules, pesticide residues will all be closely controlled. And also, very importantly for the consumer, there will be patient information with the registered product which tells the patient or consumer what the product is, when they should be taking it, when it's appropriate, what the dosage is, what the potential side effects are, and what the potential drug interactions are as well.
OK, well, Professor Cahoon, all of that sounds like useful information for consumers.
But, it doesn't tell you the one thing the consumer wants to know is whether it works or not. That's a great objection to it.
Are you concerned that by registering and licensing these products and giving them this sort of leaf mark or sprig mark, that they are somehow being authorised for use?
Absolutely. I mean, that's sort of kite mark like that looks like a stamp of government approval. Yet the government is not saying anything about whether the medicine works or not. It's not part of the system. And the one thing that the consumer needs to know about a medicine is whether it works or not.
There's a curious kind of grey area here, because what you will end up with under the licensing system is something on the shelf which has a mark of some kind, making it safe, as you say, safe. And also on that bottle or container, it will presumably say the things for which it is designed. Well, now, surely that's implicit. If it says on it, for use for stomach pains, that's saying that it will make those stomach pains better. Otherwise, there's no point in even having that information on it.
It will say on the carton and in the leaflet, a traditional herbal medicinal product used to relieve, for example, symptoms of mild anxiety, so promoting natural sleep, based on traditional use only. And that is very, very important, because that wording not only applies to the carton and the leaflet, but any advertising that is done for that product must also include that statutory warning, if you like, or caveat.
Professor Cahoon, if this licensing is going to eliminate products which are potentially harmful, and they have some benefit of whatever kind to those people who swear by them, do you see any additional dangers? Or do you think that they should be banned?
No, I think they should stop making false health claims. To say for traditional use only is silly. I mean, if you say this is traditionally used for stomach pains or menopausal symptoms, most people are going to interpret that as meaning that some sort of recommendation that it works for them. It doesn't. The labelling which is allowed is plain dishonest. All I'm asking for is plain labelling. The case of the best-selling ones, St John's or echinacea, there is actually good evidence that they don't work.
But in a way, there's a kind of
there's
a common sense approach to this in a way, isn't it? Because if people have used something for a long time and it works for them, it almost matters not what's said on the tin, isn't it?
I think this is the whole point, because basically traditional use evidence and double-blind, placebo-controlled comparator clinical trial evidence is different. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But traditional use evidence does not mean that there is no evidence.
But Professor Kuhn, is that something you can entirely dispute, that the traditional use evidence is basically no evidence?
No evidence, no. It's been shown time and time again that 1,000 years of tradition means absolutely nothing. You know, people used bloodletting for hundreds of years on the basis of traditional use. It killed people.
So as a professor of pharmacology, you would only be satisfied with this licensing system if it also included a test of whether these work in proper scientific trials, and that information was then included on the information in the packet.
I think so, yes. Why should there be a different rule for herbals, which after all are just pharmacological agents of a particular subgroup, and for other ones? It's crazy to have two systems.
We're going to be discussing this again later in the programme, and thank you both very much for your time. And I'm sure there'll be people this morning who are opening up their cupboards and taking out something they take every day who'll be fascinated. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your time. Joining us now in the studio, Caroline Daniel.